5.2 is checking services and credit card transactions. Some more terminology. An ATM card is a payment card issued by a bank that allows a customer to use an ATM. There is usually no fee to use an ATM at any branch of your bank. However, the use of ATMs belonging to any other bank may result in a charge of up to $2.50, and use of an ATM in another country may cost as much as $5 per transaction. An overdraft occurs when a check is written for which there are non-sufficient funds, or NSF. Let's say you have in your bank $500 and you write a check out for $550. Well, you've overdrawn that account by 50. We call that an overdraft. Overdraft is spending more than what you really have. You can purchase what is referred to as overdraft protection. Overdraft protection is given when an account balance is too small to cover the amount of the check and an overdraft occurs. Charges for overdraft protection vary among banks. So, in other words, even though you've exceeded your balance, the bank will cover the check. But when they do that, they're going to charge a fee for it and interest. It's almost going to be like a credit card, but the fees are really extensive. So it's good to have, just to make sure in case you've made an error that something will be covered, but it's very expensive once you've paid all the fees. A return deposit item is a check that was deposited and then returned to the bank. So you received money from somebody in a form of a check, $100 as an example. You deposit it. You think you have the $100, but then it comes back to you a few days later as a return deposit. Usually you're going to even be charged for that as well. So when you want to recover for that return check, you'll have to get whatever that check amount is from that person that paid it to you, and then ask for them to cover the fees that the bank is charging you. A stop payment order occurs when you've issued a check, you've written the check out and you've sent it off, and then you figured out, no, I don't want that amount to go to the bank after all. So you request by an account owner that would be you if you own that account, that the bank not honor a check already written. And in many cases, they're going to charge you every time you do that as well. A cashier's check is a check written by a bank, and it is viewed as being as good as cash. When you're dealing with large purchases, in many cases, rather than risking that a check might not clear, a recipient may require that you provide a cashier's check. A money order is a purchased instrument that is often used in place of cash and is sometimes required instead of a personal or business check. Typically, they cost about $4. The payee should be written on the money order by the purchaser immediately after purchase to avoid it being cashed by someone who finds or steals the money order. And then finally, a notary service is an official certification of a signature on a document that is required on certain business documents. Occasionally, the service is for free to customers, but there is usually a charge of $10. $10 per signature, maybe. Okay, there are some bank accounts or checking accounts that actually pay interest. And when that happens, you actually can earn money on your checking account based upon, usually it's the average balance. There's also what we refer to as money market accounts, which are interest-bearing accounts that require a high balance and can often be used like a checking account. So money market accounts can be like a minimum balance requirement of $5,000, and it usually will pay some interest, but you've got to keep that minimum balance in there. And then we also have what's referred to as certificate of deposits, or CDs, which are really time deposits. You are making a cash deposit with the bank with a commitment that you're not going to touch that money for a specified period of time. Usually could be as little as 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 6 months, maybe even a year. As a result of that promise, the bank is going to pay you more interest than they would otherwise on a regular checking account. However, if you need access to that cash before the time that it matures or before that date that you promised to keep it there, then there's likely going to be some significant fees for that. Okay, most of you are familiar with how credit cards work, debit cards, and even how mobile payments work. You're essentially making payments through apps on your mobile device. Many banks have the ability to pay through mobile devices. Many people have accounts such as Venmo, where you can actually pay other individuals directly rather than carrying around cash. So the financial payment system is shown on page 183, where you have a customer. Bank will receive the money, and then a credit is issued to the card issuer. So this example specifically is use of a credit card. The customer is using a credit card, the merchant receives the money, and a credit is issued to the credit card holder. When a merchant receives the money via a credit card, often they have to pay a 2% or more amount of the charge to the credit card interchange. Often if the merchant accepts a debit card, they're going to be paying on average 25 cents per swipe. And then a mobile payment supports credit card, debit card, and prepaid card payments options, and the cost will vary significantly between the two options. Now, businesses often are looking at, well, how much am I going to actually deposit in my account? So the way they're going to be computing that is taking the total credit card sales. We're going to subtract from that any credit card refunds, and that's going to give us the net credit card sales. To compute the fee that we're going to be charged by the credit card company, we're going to take the appropriate percent, whatever percent is normally charged, we're going to multiply that against the net credit card sales, and that would be the total fee that's going to be paid by the merchant. And so then the net deposit is going to be the net credit card sales, which is what we computed earlier here and used here. We're going to get our net credit card sales. We're going to subtract the fee that we computed here, and that's what we're actually going to deposit. So the example on page 183, here are credit card sales and credit card refunds made early one morning at the Rose Gardens. Find the total credit card sales, the total credit card refunds, and the net credit card sales. Then find the bank fee charged, assuming a fee of 2% of the net credit card sales. Finally, find the amount deposited to Rose Gardens checking. So this is pretty straightforward. If you have your calculators up, you can run these real quick. I'll use quickly a spreadsheet here so that we can run through this quickly. So here are the credit card sales. What are we going to add up? We're going to add up 82.31, 38.18, 249.33, 46.8, 146.5, 78, 78.80, 470.15, 320.90. Okay, so those are all the credit card sales. We're going to sum up. And according to my calculations, we have a total credit card sales, total sales of $1,432.97. Now we did have some refunds, so let's add those up. 43.83 and 85.95. So we'll add those up. And the total we have here is $129.78. So that's the total refunds. And to get our net credit card sales. We're going to take the total sales and we're going to subtract from that the total refunds. So according to my computations, our net credit card sales is 1303.19. Net sales 1303.19. Now I think they told us that they charge a 2% fee, so that's going to be based upon net credit card sales. So let's go ahead and go 2%. And so the fee, we're simply going to take the net credit card sales and multiply it by the fee, which comes up to 26.06, $26.06 rounded. And then now if I want to know what my net deposit is, I'm going to take the net credit card sales amount and I'm going to subtract from it 26.06, which now leaves us with a net deposit of $1,277.13, which is exactly what we have here. Next example kind of goes through the same process, except they're giving you the sales and they're asking for the extra amount of service charges that must be paid if all transactions were made using a credit card with a bank fee of 2.25%. compared to all transactions made using a debit card with a charge of 21 cents per swipe. So we're going to add 58.20, 41.17, 81.67, and 137.10. We're going to add those up just like we did before. 58.2, 41.17, 18.67, 137.10. Pull them out there. $255.14. So total sales were $255.14. Percent charge is 2.25%. So the actual charge is going to be $255.14 multiplied by 2.25%, which is rounded $5.74. And now we're going to compare that to 21 cents per swipe. Well, how many swipes do we have? Here's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 swipes. So we're going to go to compare to 4 swipes at 21 cents per swipe. So we'll take 4 times 0.21 and we come up with 84 cents. So in this example here, we would have to pay $5.74. In this example here, we're going to have to pay 84 cents. We'll take the difference to figure out what would be the savings if we went with the swipes. Or, I mean, the bottom line is it's going to cost us $4.90 more if we pay the charge of 2.25% compared to just paying 21 cents per swipe. It takes care of 5-5.2.